dig.
No, baby, you dig it the most.
Hey everybody, it's David. Welcome back to the channel. So I have a small stack of records to share with you. These are records that I picked up in the last month or so. Some of these were gifts, some of these were just purchases that I made on my own. But I've got 2 singles to share with you, 2 full-length studio albums, and then 4 soundtracks and scores. We'll start things off with the singles. This first one was a gift to me from my friend Matt. Matt and I go all the way back to high school, and Matt is responsible for turning me on to the Beatles during our junior year in high school. And Matt is also responsible for getting me into vinyl collecting. So thanks, Matt. No, in all seriousness, this is the latest from the Beatles. This is the single For Now and Then. The story behind this single is that Yoko Ono gave Paul, George, and Ringo some old demos of John Lennon's, and they had started recording this track back in the mid-90s for the anthology special that aired on TV, but George wasn't happy with it, so it was scrapped. Well, then Paul decides almost 30 years later he wants to dust it off and try it again, using the AI technology that was used by Peter Jackson for the Get Back movie. So Paul and Ringo re-recorded their parts. They used some of the guitar parts that George had recorded back in the 90s, and thusly Now and Then was recorded and released. So this was kind of controversial. I don't know, I think they may have opened Pandora's box, so we may see some stuff from other artists that have passed away. I don't know. Only time will tell. The next single is from Liam Gallagher and John Squire. This was the single, Just Another Rainbow. Liam Gallagher you will know as the lead singer for Oasis, and John Squire was the lead guitarist for the Stone Roses and Seahorses, all 3 bands out of the 90s that I really liked. So I was really looking forward to hearing this single and what the full-length album was going to sound like. The full-length album dropped this past Friday, March 1st. I streamed it on iTunes and I was very underwhelmed. The lyrics are just really not all that great. I mean, it sounds like they were lyrics written by a grade schooler. John Squire's guitar work isn't really all that impressive, and Liam sounds good, but again, the lyrics just don't really have anything to say, in my opinion. So I did enjoy this single. It kind of reminds me of the Beatles single Rain, which was put out in the Rubber Soul Revolver era. So again, I was looking forward to hearing the rest of the album, but yeah, that album is not anything I will be purchasing anytime soon. All right, on to the full-length studio albums. This next one is one that I was turned on to by my friend Aaron. He messaged me and said, hey, check out Juno Dream. I pulled them up on iTunes and really liked what I heard. This is their debut album, Pools of Color. This came out late January, early February. They kind of have a Radiohead, Coldplay, Verve sound to them, which is right out of my wheelhouse. I'm a huge fan of all 3 of those bands. So I was very curious to hear this, and I really enjoyed it quite a bit. Again, this came out end of January, beginning of February. Here is the jacket that was included with it. On the back, you've got lyrics to all the songs, and this came on clear vinyl. So here's side A, side B. I'll insert a little clip. Definitely worth checking out. Again, if you are fans of Radiohead, The Verve, and Coldplay.
This is a new day.
Next up is an album that was a gift to me from my daughter Caitlin for my birthday, and this is Pete Yorn's 6th studio album, which is called Pete Yorn. Technically his 5th solo artist album. He did one before this with Scarlett Johansson. But this was one that was a gap in my Pete Yorn collection. There were 2 albums I was missing, this one and then his 4th album, Back and Forth. Back and Forth is available on Discogs, but I'm not willing to pay $80 for that, especially not at this point in time. But yeah, Pete Yorn. Pete Yorn was an artist I discovered back in early 2000, 2001. He was a VH1 You Ought to Know artist. Really enjoyed his first studio album, Music for the Morning After, and the second one, The Day I Forgot. Everything from then on I've enjoyed immensely. So yeah, Pete Yorn. Okay, on to the soundtracks and scores. This first one is one that I got on Amazon. This is The Three Amigos. This was put out by Rhino. This is the first time it's been released on vinyl since 1987. I paid $25 for it. I had just recently watched the movie for the first time in decades and had a good laugh, and so went on Amazon to see if this was even available, and surprisingly it's available for $25, so I went ahead and sprung for that one. So that's The Three Amigos. Next up we have The Last of the Mohicans with music by Trevor Jones and Randy Edelman. I think the story behind this one is that Randy Edelman had started the score for this movie and then he tragically passed away, so they brought in Trevor Jones to complete the score. I really enjoyed the score to this one quite a bit. It's a great movie if you haven't seen it. Daniel Day-Lewis gives a great performance in this movie. The score just fits this movie perfectly, and so I'm happy to have this one in my collection. This next one is one I bought having never seen the movie or even heard of it. It is The Card Counter, and it features songs from Robert Lee Von Bean, who is in my favorite band, BRMC. So that's purely why I bought this, because Robert Lee Von Bean's involvement with this. I was surprised. It's a good album. I enjoyed the songs, most of them anyways. There are a few that are so-so, but for the most part, it's a pretty good score. So yeah, this is The Card Counter featuring songs from Robert Lee Von Bean of BRMC fame. And lastly, I have for you Willy Wonka and Chocolate Factory. This was purely nostalgia reasons only. This is one of those movies that I would watch when it came on TV, kind of like The Wizard of Oz and the Rankin and Bass Christmas specials every year. I've always enjoyed the music from this movie. This has all the songs plus some dialogue. This was put out by Sound on Vinyl. It was a limited release, and I got the red and white swirl, I guess you would call it. It's like a candy. Yeah, happy to have Willy Wonka in my soundtrack collection. I am still expecting 3 albums from Waxwork. They were supposed to start shipping at the end of February, beginning of March. I haven't got any kind of notifications yet, so hopefully those will be shipping sooner than later. And when I do get those, I will be sure to share them with you. That's going to do it for this video. Hope you all are doing well, and until next time, take care. Thanks.